start with Nintendo. Now, I tried to make these predictions not necessarily things we know for all of these. It's not something like, oh, Titanfall 2 is going to be there. Well, we know that. So why predict that? So I tried to do that. I've thrown a few crazy things, thrown a few interesting things that I think will happen that maybe aren't being talked about. It's a fun time. But interestingly, with Nintendo, they're not doing anything else really but Zelda. And they're showing a couple other things, but that's not really why they're there, and it almost feels throwaway. Like, yeah, we're showing some Dragon Quest. Like, alright, good presence there. And people have brought up, they're not even showing the new Paper Mario or the new Metroid game, which looks terrible. So starting with The Legend of Zelda for Wii U and NX, here are my predictions specifically for Zelda. As a big Zelda fan, I got Link here, Zelda. Big Zelda fan. So I'm saying there are going to be quests and side quests. And what I mean by this is just that. Like in The Witcher 3, you can pause and see a bunch of quests. Now, they've done similar things to this already in Majora's Mask. We've had a bunch of quests and little timelines going on. Very possibly, I don't know why they wouldn't have that now. Add in these quests, you're having this big open world. This is very likely something they're going to show. It makes sense. If you have a big open world and you don't have quests and side quests and stuff listed on a screen, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. Okay. Jesus Christ, I did not scroll down like that. Voice acting. That's the big thing. Now, this has been rumored, and I think it has to be true. It is time now, Nintendo. It was time now 10 years ago to do voice acting as well. But it is 100% time now. Just do it. Link doesn't have to talk. Valve made Half-Life 2 a very cinematic game without the main character talking. It's possible. You don't need Link to talk. I don't even care if he does. I don't even care if it's a guy or a girl. I don't care who the fuck Link is. People need to talk in this. Yeah, it's too long. Star Fox has had voice acting for 20 years. It's ridiculous. So this has to be a thing. This has to be a thing. If they don't have voice acting, it's a very, very big surprise to me. But at the same time, maybe it's not, because Nintendo has done dumber, stranger, more ridiculous things. Now, here's where we get kind of into more of the meat of this. A full dungeon, including puzzles, items, a boss, will be shown. And a boss. Is there missing A there? Doesn't matter. This is based kind of solely on what they did for Wind Waker. Wind Waker, they showed and they released a demo to GameStops and stuff of Dragon Roost Island. The entire Dragon Roost Island dungeon. Sorry, the dungeon there. Not the entire island. So you could do all the puzzles and do everything in the dungeon. This has to be something. There's been basically radio silence on this game for 2+ years. It's crazy. It's crazy how much they have to show. And they're going to be showing hours of this game. Maybe the same hour over and over. But I do think full dungeon, maybe it's the first dungeon, maybe it's the second dungeon, doesn't really matter. Maybe the dungeons don't have an order. Who cares? There's going to be a full dungeon here to look at, to appreciate, and all that bullshit. There has to be, if you're showing this thing for hours. And that leads in to the next thing I have here. All the classic items, bombs and arrows that you expect will be shown. But 2 brand new things will be shown. I need like a thunderclap. That's what I need to see what's happening. Well, thanks for hosting me, Zombie. That doesn't show up in my chat. So, what I mean by this is, it could be, oh, the boomerang has a new ability now. Sure. It could mean that. It could mean an entirely new thing, like the gust jar was new. Now, the gust jar isn't very exciting, but it's a new item. And I think for this new Zelda, big open world, We need some new shit. And that's one of my biggest complaints about Skyward Sword is there really wasn't anything new with the items. I haven't played the game in years, but off the top of my head, I cannot think of any. We need new items that really help you in the open world to do things. At least two. At least two, Nintendo. Count on you. These are becoming less predictions and more like things I really want to see, or I'm gonna lose my damn mind. That's what it happens. Now, the starting area of the game will be in a forest village, as usual. Now, that might not be an amazing prediction, but also what I'm saying is they're going to show the beginning of the game as well. Basically, Wind Waker, Outset, is it Outset? The island with your grandma on it, that's the name of the island. They'll show the equivalent of that for Zelda Wii U. We'll also get the title, which I'm not putting in my predictions because, of course, we're going to get the title. Hey, Wombat, been a long time. Perfect time to show up. Zelda time. Zelda time. Yeah, predictions is basically what Ben needs in his life. His sad, sad life. Just please, Nintendo. But I do think they're not going to break. They're going to break a lot of the things that you see in the Zelda franchise with the open world. They're going to change a lot of that, but you're still going to start in a little forest village and have a little tutorial and do all this. And then you're going to get your horse and you're going to escape and it's going to be a cool moment. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be. Good to hear, Wombat, you finished the Water Temple. Wombat is making all of the Ocarina of Time, all of Ocarina of Time into Super Mario Maker. And doing a pretty good job. Pretty interesting, pretty fun time. Pretty. But we're not done with predictions for the new Zelda. So, scroll down. Just a touch. Nice little screenshot. I still don't believe any of these screenshots are real. I still don't. As actual gameplay, I just don't trust it. Now, the gamepad will only be used as a map and item screen. This basically, to me, has to be true unless the NX has another input device of some kind. There's nothing else for this to be used for. It's not going to be, maybe it's for aiming too. Basically the functionality that's in Wind Waker or in Twilight Princess HD is going to be here. There's not going to be anything rear view mirror bullshit. No. It's just going to be what it was before. How could it be any more than that? Now, amiibo functionality. So they've talked about this with the Twilight Princess amiibo, which is just off screen, like right here, just off screen. It's going to have some function in this game, and they will talk about it, but I feel like they're not going to really go into it. It's going to be mentioned, but it's not going to be, here's this huge feature. It's really downplayed, which is exactly what I said. Very, very downplayed as to, yeah, it's an amiibo, but don't worry about the amiibo. You don't need the amiibo. Do you think they're going to talk heavily on the NX? I don't think they're going to mention NX at all. Beyond saying, hey, this is coming to NX, I don't think they're going to say anything at all. I really don't. Besides, just like I just said, little hints and little whisperings of whatever, they might mention it by name and say that yes, it's also coming to NX. I don't think they're gonna mention it. It's not gonna get brought up. We are gonna learn some things, as other people have brought this up. We are gonna learn some things about NX because this game is on both. We're going to know how you can kind of see with the controls, but at the same time, maybe we can't because the Wii U has a normal controller. The NX probably does too. We're going to be able to kind of notice if there's a lot of gyro stuff. Maybe there's definitely going to be some clues, but I think we're just going to some clues. What is the meaning of this? What do you mean, what is the meaning of this? It's time to talk about Zelda, specifically why they hurt me with their sadness with Zelda. I'm going to move down here. Now, here's the big thing. I think there's going to be a demo. what I mean by that is at least there's going to be a demo going to like a Best Buy, and you can go into the store and play the game. There's going to be a demo at the Nintendo World Store. We already know that's happening. It's not that far to think this could be coming to GameStop, to Best Buy, probably to Best Buy for sure. They for some reason, Nintendo and Best Buy are in bed together. I don't get it. But there's going to be some kind of demo, maybe possibly coming to eShop. I feel like this really is something they need to do. This game has been basically, oh, I got a Wii U for Zelda. Oh, I got a Wii U for Zelda. For the entire 3 years that it's been around, right? So I think they need to kind of do that. Maybe as a get well gesture. No, that's not the phrase. Doesn't matter. They kind of need to do that. They kind of need to show, hey, this is Zelda. You've had this Wii U. Here's what it is. Here's a demo. We're sorry. Will Super Mario Maker 2 be announced? No. The best we're gonna get is a vague hint that Wii U titles will work on NX, meaning Super Mario Maker will continue. I think they've shown great success with Super Mario Maker. So either the Wii or the NX is backwards compatible, or like some people are saying, games will be re-released, like Smash will be re-released, and Super Mario Maker will be re-released onto the NX. That's more likely. They're not going to announce any games. Mario Paint 2, no, never. Now get off of that god Google Docs. Now here's my crazy idea. Maybe, just maybe, in a list of not predictions, but things I want, we can get a very cool hint of a new Metroid Prime game coming to NX. I want a good hint here. A good hint. Not Reggie with a Metroid pin. No. I want a good hint of our classic franchises. Maybe Samus will show up on NX. That's what I want. That's what I really want. Now this isn't a prediction and more of just please, 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 please. Can you do it for me? Can you do it for me, Nintendo, please? I can't with this. Is downloadable software backwards compatible? See, those are good questions. We're not going to get any of those answers. Downloadable software backwards compatible. I'm going to go with maybe, a strong maybe on that, but they're not going to say. They're not going to say 100% really anything. 100% nothing. From Wii U to NX, I foresee a situation like we have Wii mode on the Wii U, kind of something like that, where you can maybe switch it into Wii U mode and play Wii U stuff. Who knows? They did have a transfer from Wii to Wii U, and that worked fine. It took like 6 hours for the little Pikmin to grab everything. But again, they are not going to talk about this. They're not going to talk about NX very much at all. I would be shocked if they did. I would be beyond shocked. They straight up said, this show is about Zelda, and oh, here's some Dragon Quest on day 2. Like, there's no NX. If you're going to talk about NX vaguely in your live show about Zelda, no. You're going to talk about NX. You're releasing a console. You're going to talk about it. You're not going to be like, oh, we're doing Zelda and we kind of have an NX, but here's a detail. No. That's really a shitty way to market or to put out any product into any market ever. Don't do that. They're not going to do that. NX will place Wii U or handheld. Well, the rumor is that the NX is both, but I don't know. The more I think about it, and the more rumors kind of come up and happen. And there was that rumor about the Nintendo NH or something like that. That's a handheld. There's a rumor about that, but that might have been debunked. I don't know. The rumor is saying that that's the case. I don't know if it's going to be both or not. I'm kind of hoping it is. Selfishly, again, just so I can play handheld games on my TV. I have no interest in the handheld portion at this point in my life, but I want the TV portion, and I want to play those games on my TV. Like Fire Emblem, the new Fire Emblem, I want to play that game, but I don't want to play it on my 3DS. I want to play it on my TV. I don't care if it looks like garbage on my TV. I want to play it on my TV. I would hate to see Nintendo die too. I don't think they would die. things are quote unquote bad, this is basically their swan song. This is their Final Fantasy. Ha ha ha. Because if you screw this up, then you kind of have to retreat and to do something else. I don't think Nintendo's very proud, and what people don't realize in becoming third party, Nintendo makes a lot of money off of consoles and off of hardware and all that stuff. So worst comes to worst, they could just become a portable company, a handheld system only. Because those handhelds, 3DS, it's not like it's amazing compared to the DS, but it's still really good. So they could just keep doing that. There's a lot of options for Nintendo, but again, we're not going to get any of these answers. Any of these answers at all. I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if we got answers to anything related to NX. Just anything at all. Alright. Any other comments about Nintendo? We're going to move on to Sony after Nintendo. As you can see in my handy dandy little list on the side. But it's a big year for Nintendo this year. And maybe they're probably going to do some other event later in the year. They have to before the NX allegedly comes out in spring-ish. Yeah, they've said spring-ish. They've said spring-ish. I'm just going to say spring-ish a couple more times for NX, I believe, because it was fiscal year. It was fiscal year 2016, which ends April, the beginning of April, the end of April 2017. That's roughly the time point. So there's not going to be another E3, which is why everyone was kind of freaked out. Like, you're just focusing on Zelda, and there's no Zelda this year, and there's no NX this year. There's a lot of questions going on, and it even further goes into what Sony and Microsoft are doing with the PlayStation 4.5 and Scorpio. Maybe Nintendo knew about that and just kind of wanted to avoid the fall. If you're releasing a bunch of new shit from your competitors and PlayStation VR, maybe you want to get out of that and just be like, hey, here's our spring thing. That might be a smart idea to do. But what do I know? Probably nothing. Probably not good advice. Don't listen to me, Nintendo. Except for the Metroid Prime thing. You can listen to me on that. I'm 100% good on that idea, Nintendo. Do that. Do the Metroid Prime. That's a flawless advice. Flawless advice. But let's move on to Sony. Because there's a lot to go through. A whole lot to go through.